Wow.
Hello, I'm Kurt Clendenin. Welcome to KaPow Intergalactic Film Fest 2021 Q&A. We are talking to Adam Griswold, and he is the creator. Uh, you did so much with this movie. You directed it, you wrote it, you starred in it. Apocalypse Party, and so this is just such a fun. Um, it's a fun genre to mix the idea of an apocalypse movie with comedy. So I've never seen something like this before. Where did you first get the idea to make something like this?
Um, I feel like it was a vague idea that was in my head like years earlier before I did it. I think almost when people back in 2012 when people were talking about how the Mayan calendar was ending and the world was going to end, I had this vague idea in my head of people in a party in the apocalypse, but I never got around to actually writing anything then. So then it was in towards the end of 2019, I was looking for some kind of short film to do towards the end of that year that I could do with bring in a lot of people, but just get it done in one location in one weekend or two weekends. And somehow that idea kind of floated back into my head. Just a lot of stuff. There's so much happening in the news over the past few years, probably even more so in the past year since I made the film, where just people are like, it's the end of the world, it's the end of the world, and people have so many different reactions to that. And it just kind of a lot of ideas came to me, and I just tried to put as many as I could into this script.
Well, it's really cool, man, because I've noticed through the years, because you've continually submitted your projects to KaPow, and there's always a really interesting twist to them that you're not expecting, and you seem to be able to get large casts for your projects, which is just incredible. How do you know all these people? Are these fellow actors?
Well,
Are they neighbors? Are they?
yeah, they're all people who are interested in acting in the New England area. Most of them live in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and some of the other New England states. It's just I've been doing this for, going on 10 years now, making films in this area. So it started out, I would put casting calls on websites. Hey, I'm making a short film, and so it started with just a small group, and then each film I would first before when I was first starting out, I'd reach out to everyone from the previous film, say, hey, I'm making another one, who wants to be in this, and find roles for those people. And then there'd usually be a few roles left over, so I'd make a public post looking for more people. And so the network grew bigger and bigger over the last decade. Now I don't even really audition people more often. It'll just be because I work on other projects in the area too. So someone will ask me to help out with this, I'll meet actors on that, and then they want to help out. So so everyone in Apocalypse Party either was someone who I had met on a previous project that I did, or with someone else.
Yeah, I recognize a lot of the actors from the other
Yeah.
projects that you've done. And what's so cool about this is something I've been talking with the other filmmakers about, is when you see that track record of people working with the same tribe, and then that tribe
Yeah.
slowly grows bigger throughout time.
Mm.
What's cool is, like, you've got so much momentum going on right now with the people that you know, and just the ideas that are flowing. Like I said, you're very prolific, and you've got plenty of people who want to be able to help out with your
Yeah.
stuff. I'm assuming some of these people are probably opening up their homes and their
Yeah.
locations for you to be able to shoot at.
Yeah. Yeah. Like right now well, maybe it might be getting ahead of myself, but I'm working on an anthology project now where I have 5 short films that are going to be interconnected, and all of them are being shot in different homes of people who, for the most part, are in this film and are in some of the others. Yeah.
Incredible, man. It's incredible. When you get people involved in your vision, and they like seeing the contributions that they've made, it makes them more and more excited each time to
Yeah.
keep, going, okay, well, cool. You know what? I acted in the last one, and you know what? I happen to have this property that we haven't used in a while. What do you need a location here? Let's shoot at this location.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of it, like, I feel like I was struggling a lot early on to find locations and find actors, but now in recent years, it's getting to the point where I have so many people, so many resources. It's not as difficult as it used to be. There's still a lot of hard stuff with any project, but yeah.
Well, it's cool. I just got to say, the 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 sort of the thing that was being created in the basement by the scientist,
Yeah.
um it reminded me of how in Space People, you're good at putting technology into your movies and having them look ridiculous, yet there's a reason for each of those particular things to be involved
Yeah.
with that particular machine, which is awesome. You know, you're looking at it, you're going, this is crazy. He's got like what looks like a boombox for a head, and you know, and he's like, what's he asking for all these spoons and forks for? And but it's just awesome, man. You do a lot of twists in here, like when Death shows up, he's the singing telegram,
Yeah.
which is just awesome. And you did some great lighting tricks there too, which was really
Yeah.
cool. It's been fun watching your projects evolve through the years with whether it's whether it's more locations, whether it's a bigger cast. I mean, I've seen everything evolve in that sense. Your the computer graphics, your special effects that you use on stuff. I've been noticing those more and more in your projects, and it's really cool, man, um, to see someone who has just such faith in their vision that they're like, okay, you know what, we're going to create this thing. How long does it usually take for you to write a script?
Um, Usually, depending on whether it's, if it's I'll usually just try to just get the first draft done as fast as I can. So a short, it'll usually take 3 or 4 days to get a first draft done, and then a feature will take maybe about 2 weeks to get a draft done. And then usually I'll step away from it for a month or a while, and then it'll kind of be in my head. I'll kind of get a sense of what's working and what isn't, and so then I'll go back and depending on the script, sometimes I'll completely change the second half of it, and so then I'll be making changes. I feel like with Apocalypse Party, I don't well it did there were some changes, but I feel like that was almost more due to when I figured out what I had who I had to work with for actors and which characters I had. I think I cut some characters so I didn't really have anyone to play them, but then added new characters because I had people who I wasn't really sure who else that they would play. So yeah.
Wow, 2 weeks to write a feature film. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So do you
First draft, they're usually not perfect after 2 weeks.
well, and that's the thing. You just got to kind of like let it flow. You know, you just got to go, just kind of just throw it up on the page,
Yeah.
and then while you kind of sit and you marinate on it, then you start, then you can kind of start sculpting it in what you want it to be. Now, have so with your scripts that you write, do you because your casts have a great rapport between them, by the way.
Yeah.
They got everyone seems to be like really getting along with each other really well. Do you leave room for improv, or are they pretty much sticking to the
Um,
scripts?
it's mostly it's mostly scripted. I mean, I'm not like you must say the exact words on the page. There's be some variation, and I mean, I don't say the exact words when I'm acting, but if some occasionally someone will have an idea, or I mean, I don't. There's not a lot of full on improv. Occasionally, someone will have a suggestion that we'll throw in, but it's more, especially. I mean, some of them like need to be, if there's special effects or anything, it kind of has to go according to the script in order for it all to be pulled off. But you know,
And it totally made sense. It was so great with the newscaster. They're just like, okay, you know what? We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. Who cares
yeah,
about the professionalism that we have on screen? So I thought that aspect was awesome. And then just hear these people having a good time. It's like, okay, this is our last night in town. Let's just play some board games. Let's
yeah,
let's just hang out with each other. I mean, really, what else can you do in a situation like that? So I
right,
like how you leave like a big question mark in the movie, um, concerning the device.
yeah,
Is it just something that sings jingle bells, which I
yeah,
think was a great twist. Everyone's like, wait, hold on a second. I thought you were gonna what?
yeah.
Um, so it's like, okay, was it just something that he just wanted to show off? He was just excited about showing these people this machine that sings jingle bells, or did it actually do something for the
Yeah.
asteroid? So it's just um, such a great question mark in the audience's mind. I thought this is a funny line. Who are you most excited about seeing in heaven tonight? That was just great.
Yeah. It was just as writing it. It was just I was just trying to. I think, like I mentioned, going through every scenario of what people might be talking about when the world is ending, and just anything I could come up with some funny conversation. I try to stick as many of those bits in. Yeah.
So how many projects? I got this idea that you probably just have a whole bunch of projects that are just waiting to be created.
Yeah. Well, I don't usually it's like there's so many factors. I won't usually plan too far ahead. Maybe I'll have an idea of what I might want to do next, but I'll usually focus on what I'm doing, and then once that's done, figure out exactly what's going to come after, because you never know what's going to happen. But I've done, I mean, Apocalypse Party was over a year ago, so I've actually done multiple projects since it was finished.
Oh, interesting. What else have you worked on?
Yeah, well, I didn't start anything before the whole COVID lockdown started up. So then that kind of ended up dictating what I've done. So the first thing I did was, rather than bring in all these people, I did a film where I was the entire cast and the entire crew. So I just played every single character, and it was just me in my garage. It's a 30-minute like film noir period piece with just me playing every single role. And then I did bring other people, and then I did a thing where I brought in other people, but we all kept to ourselves, and they all submitted their own parts, and that's a whole adventure with me going through an old computer game from the 90s where I'm interacting with video clips. So those are called A Face You Won't Forget and Taskville: The Quest for Knowledge. Those are both online now through Smoking Bottle Entertainment. And now I'm working on an anthology of 5 horror comedy themed short films that I'm back to being on set with people, but just with small groups of 3 or 4 actors to a short. So I've got 2 of those shot. I'm editing the second one, and then 3 more set to do within the next few months.
Holy cow, man. You are just a machine with this stuff.
Yeah.
You are going and going. You're very
Yep.
resourceful with what you have. And I think that's like, I think one of the reoccurring themes that I keep coming across with the people here at KaPow is becoming the media that you want to see, making the art
Yeah.
that you want to see out there in the world. And you start, once you got enough projects that you've done, each project then inspires you to do the next project because you
Yeah.
learned something on those projects. You're like, okay, here's something I learned on this project. Here's something I learned on that project. Okay,
Yes.
cool. Now let's combine that into this project.
Yeah. That's what I'm always trying to do. Always thinking ahead. Always trying to learn from everything. And I mean, I can, and it's like as I go, I can see myself get better. I think I've improved at a lot of things since I did Apocalypse Party. I'll look at that, and yeah.
Incredible. Incredible. Man. So, what are some of the funny stories that happen on set?
Hmm.
Is there anything in particular where maybe you're like, oh my God, we're running out of daylight here, or oh gosh,
Well, I
the
think every
electricity's
project
off.
is like that. Well, at least with this one, we didn't have to worry about daylight because the whole thing took place at night. So we just had the windows blocked for the whole thing, and then eventually it was actually dark. But let's see. Yeah, it wasn't. I don't know if there was anything that funny that happened on this one. But yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, it was like everything we had. I was trying to get most of it done in one weekend. I think that we had one weekend where we got stuff done with a few people, and then the majority of it was done over the second weekend. And it was like everything, just having that many people in the house and trying to get through all that script, because it's just you can only have, you're limited in how days you can get that many people together.
So
So
how long did it take total to shoot it?
I think we had 3 days of shooting, so it was like
Wait,
one.
so you shot the whole thing in 3 days and that's it?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Wow, man. This is just awesome. One of the things that I noticed about Space People which was really cool, was that you actually built the inside of the spaceship, and you did such a great job with. I mean, it was awesome because it's like so many times people are going, "Oh, I wish I had this kind of equipment," or I'll make something once I have this or once I have that, and it's like, look, man, use your cell phone and shoot something. That's got a camera on it. That's got audio that it can take. And uh, it's like, what's better, to do something with what you already got, or to not do anything until you wait for that most ideal thing that you
Yeah.
feel that you need. And I just think it's so cool, man, that you've been going along the way that you have, and creating all these projects. Now, what would be one of your dream projects? Would you say that like a multi-million dollar? Do you have any of those hiding in the wings?
Well, see, I never know what to say when people ask that, because I think a lot of the projects I do, like you say, are driven by limitations. When I'm writing a script, a lot of the time it is inspired by what can I do right now, and so then that'll spark some idea, and then I'll go write something. So it's like when people do ask me what would you shoot with $1 million, I don't even know. I would be overwhelmed thinking I can literally do anything. It's
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting because there was. Are you a fan of Steve Soderbergh by any chance?
Yeah, to a degree. I've seen some
Well,
of his films. Yeah.
there's a story where basically he was going to be given like $100 million to shoot a movie, and he's like, I wouldn't know how to shoot $100 million movie. He's like, how about you just give me $10 million movies? I'll do that instead. And they're like,
I
no,
mean,
no, no. You know, it's just like, holy cow! I'm offering you an opportunity to like expand your horizons here because he's so resourceful.
yeah.
You know, and you've got that same kind of gumption, I
I mean, I'm
think.
sure if someone did give me a big budget, I would find ways to spend it. Absolutely. Once I figured out what the movie was going to be. But
So what's that like to actually to direct and then also be on screen at the same time? They have to you know, put on different hats.
yeah, I mean, well, I haven't been. I mean, I acted in my own films a lot more earlier in my career than I have been in the last couple of years. Well, except for the things I did under lockdown where I was doing everything. It's it's something I'm so used to. I don't really think about that much. I mean, I know some of I have some older films where I would just have the camera down on a tripod and I'd be acting and then no one manning the camera. And then afterwards I'd find, oh, there was all this stuff in the background that now I need to take out and post. And um, but I don't know, I'm so used to doing everything that I sometimes I will have, I think like Apocalypse Party was one of these where I had so many people on set and, you know, a lot of them have experience behind the camera too. So like, oh, I can help. And I'm like, I know, I'm sure I can use your help, but I'm not entirely sure what I need you to do because my instinct is always to just do everything myself.
Wow, man. Wow, man. That's just incredible. Are there any like 'cause you're very sci-fi oriented, very supernatural
Mhm.
oriented. Have you personally had any let's say experiences with UFOs?
I did see a UFO once several years ago. I saw a bunch of just red dots going across the sky, and I couldn't quite come up with an explanation for what specifically that was. This was, I wouldn't say that directly inspired any scripts or anything, but you know, it wasn't anything super odd, but it's still, I'm not sure what was going on there.
That's incredible. What was the circumstance?
I was just out for a walk at night and the same, like in my neighborhood where I usually go, and there was just an area where I could see the sky, and there were just a bunch of dots going by, like red, orange, and it was just, you know, the way they were, it didn't look like a plane or stars or anything I was used to, and I just stopped and it was, you know, it probably has a totally reasonable explanation, but I'm not sure what it was.
Wow, incredible. Who are some of your influences or who are some of your favorite you know, even movies?
Uh, I mean, I think I was original. When I started out, I was influenced a lot by animation. By like, I used to watch like, you know, Pixar and stuff, and then you know, I do everything live action. But I think that sort of the rhythms of like animated movies almost influenced the way I, you know, write and put stuff together. So I think people have described my films are like live action cartoons sometimes.
Wow, what a great way of putting it. That's so
Yeah,
cool. That wow, what an interesting thing if you think about that you're basically making live action cartoons.
yeah. And I mean, like early one of the when I was starting out, some of the films I did were like literally my character turns into a cartoon character, and then I had a lot of really cheesy cartoon effects, and then went into a green screen cartoon world. So
Awesome.
since then, everything has kind of been. I mean, it varies from project to project. Some of them are more grounded, some of them are more crazy. But yeah,
What's the name of that one? Where
that was the Cartoon Man trilogy. It's a trilogy. They're up on YouTube. The Cartoon Man, Return of the Cartoon Man, Journey of the Cartoon Man.
so how many movies would you say that you've created?
Around like 15 now. So
Wow.
yeah.
How many would you say that you shoot each year?
Um, I mean, again, it depends. If I'm doing a feature, that'll be the only thing I do that year. If I'm doing shorts, between 1 and 3. It depends on how. Sometimes I feel like I had a long break where I had a feature that I was working on that was really time consuming, so I didn't get as much done. And then in the past year, I've almost been trying to make up for that by just because I've done a ton just within the past year.
God, man, that's incredible. Well, Adam, thank you so much for stopping by and talking about
Yeah, no
Apocalypse
problem.
Party. And are there any? Do you have any social networks that you want to direct people towards, or
Um,
websites, or?
Yeah, so just everything, my brand is Smoking Bottle Entertainment. I have a website, smokingbottlentertainment.com, and there's a Facebook page, and you know, on Twitter and Instagram, I'm Adam W. Griswold. So yeah, and then and then I have a YouTube channel, and then I have a couple films on Amazon Prime Video. Space People 1 and 2 and Quirewood are on there. So there's lots of stuff you can see out there.
Wow, man. Adam, thank you so much for showing up. And thank you, everybody at KaPow IFF 2021 for checking out this Q&A. And please make sure you check out Space People by Adam Griswold. Take care, Adam. Have a good night.
Yep. Thank you.
See ya.